Hi, I'm Tony from Humpop Gaming, and today we're going to talk about the collection service. It's an amazing API provided by Roblox and solves problems that a lot of developers face. Today we're going to look at what these problems are and how the collection solves that issue and how to implement it. Now you may recognise code like this. This happens when you create a part, add a script, and you find it works, so you will copy and paste it around your workspace. It works, so why change it? Well, what happens when you want to make a change? You have to go through every script and update each one individually. What happens when there's a bug? Same thing again. This is not a scalable or sustainable way to develop your game. When we code, we want to follow a principle called dry. This means don't repeat yourself. A service collection helps with this. You can take all those copied scripts and reduce them into one single script, which means no more multiple updates when you want to make a change or when you find a bug. The collection service works by managing a collection of parts based on tags that you've created and assigned to those chosen parts. Let's look at how the collection service works. There's only going to be 4 steps to converting your repeated code into a single script which uses the collection service. To get started, you need to come up to the view, select the tag. You can see here it gives you the option to create a new tag. Now a tag is nothing more than a string. So what we can call it here is a sliding part. Press enter and we now have a new tag. You can add any number of tags you want, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to work with the one. My next stage is I want to select my part and select the tag. Normally you'll be doing this with multiple parts. So what we'll do, we'll recreate this part many times, spread them out, and I'll deselect. So now we're at a stage where none of our parts have got any selections on them. You've seen how we tag a single part. Another way we can tag parts is coming over to model, make sure select is selected, then left click, drag, and all your parts are selected. So from here you can just click the sliding part tag and you'll see now, if I click away and click one, you'll see that any of these which I click all have the sliding tag attached to them. Alternatively, the other way to make a selection and add a tag to all your parts is click on your top one in the Explorer, hold down Shift and click on the bottom one. You can also hold down Control to deselect them or reselect them if you want. From here, we go back over to Tag Editor again and select our sliding part. So you can see here, if I click away, I didn't select this one, no tag is added, but I did select this one and a tag is added. So what I'll do is, I can see I've got some of these are selected, some are not. We have a little indeterminate sign here, so that means some aren't, some aren't. I'll select them all. Now in our script, we need to add a reference to the collection service. We also need to add a reference to the tween service. That's because the script we're going to use from our sliding platform is dependent on the tween service. Next, we're going to create a for loop and use the collection service to get the tag which we're interested in. So here, we're asking it to get every part that has the tag sliding part. Then what it does, it iterates through each one of them and we get access to that part. So first we set the start position equal to where the part is, then we put the end position where we want it to finish, its slide duration, how long it needs to wait in between each animation, and we set the new tween info saying we want it to run infinitely. We then say where the goal is, so the position of where we want it to end, and then we create the animation and we call play. Then the final step is we go through each one of these parts and delete its script. So I'm just going to open them all up. Then hold down Control and click on each and press delete. Oh, missed one. Now we can come back to our game. And if I press F8, all our parts are moving. None of them have got a script attached to them. This is all taking place in the server script service inside this script, which has looked for our sliding part tag. But you might say, well, that doesn't really apply to me because all of my scripts had a slightly different value and each one was moving its own distance. and it had its own wait time. Well, that's not a problem because we can slightly tweak our script that we've got here. And instead of hard coding this value, what we can do is click on our parts that we're interested in, come down to the bottom, and then under attribute, I'm going to add a new value, and it's going to be an integer. So that's just a number, and we'll call it x position end. Yeah, that'll do. And what we can do, instead of having the value 10, this one can have the value 20. And then I can go through each sliding platform and change them to have whatever value I want. So what I'm going to do here is get the attribute, check if the attribute has a value. If it does, I'm going to use that value. And if it doesn't, I'm going to set a default value. This way I can have a default expected behavior if a part doesn't have an attribute called x position end. And then I'll update the vector free. So instead of having the hard-coded value, it also has x position end. And now if we run the game, we'll see one platform will move further than all the rest. And this one also moves faster because I haven't changed the time it's allowed to complete its animation. So this one has further to go in the same amount of time. So this is a really basic usage of the collection service, but you can get more advanced with it. And I've created a video on that, so feel free to check it out. So if you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Remember to check out my next video for a more advanced way to use the collection service and let me know what you think in the comments below. See you in the next one.